I want to know you more. That's our prayer this morning. Good morning. I welcome you to this new exciting day. The Bible often talks about the kind of life that God is pleased with. The life that God is pleased with is a life that is fully surrendered to Him. A life that is fully surrendered to the purposes of God. Because God has a purpose for each one of us, and all of that purpose comes to life when we surrender ourselves to Him. His purpose for our life are way beyond our desires, way beyond our dreams for our own life. His purposes are something that makes our life worth living in this earth. As we begin our day, let's begin with an attitude of surrender, saying, Lord, I surrender myself to you and I want to know you more.
Like a rushing wind, Jesus breathe within. Lord, have your way. Lord, have your way in me. Like a mighty storm, stir within my soul. Lord, have your way. Lord, have your way in me. Like a rushing wind, Jesus breathe within. Lord, have your way. Lord, have your way in me. Like a mighty storm, stir within my soul. Lord, have your way.
The word for today is taken from Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 to 30, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Then Jesus said, Come to me, all of you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. This verse has been speaking to me powerfully over the past few days, just reminding me about the call of God over my life. And I believe that all of us, all of you who are listening to this audio, all of us in this earth have a calling over your life. You have a purpose for which God has created you. And when we think about that calling, God's calling is something that is not burdensome. God's calling is not something that is more than what you can bear. God will always give you something that you can bear and something that you will enjoy doing. And that's God's calling, and that is how it always works. And so when we see in this verse, God gives an open invitation saying, Come to me, all of you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. When I think of weary and carrying heavy burdens, what I've found is sometimes our passions, our own desires can be a burden to us because we always tend to make plans that are beyond what we can bear. We always tend to make plans more than our capacity. And that is where we fail. Life becomes more cumbersome. It becomes more overwhelming because we are constantly planning goals that are way beyond our capacity. And that's why we keep failing all the time. We try one thing, it doesn't work. We try another thing, it doesn't work. We try something else, it still doesn't work. And we wonder, God, what do you want me to do? I tell you what God wants you to do. What God wants you to do is to surrender your life to Him completely. Saying, Lord, I give myself to you. I give myself to your calling. Lead me in the way that I should go. Verse 30 says, For my yoke is easy to bear and the burden I give you is light. God tells us clearly that my calling for you, my purpose for you is something that you're designed for. You're designed to bear and carry out my will and my purposes. And when we come to Him and say, Lord, I surrender myself to you, we will be able to accomplish the task without any trouble. And the greatest blessing in all of this is that you will get to know Jesus more, because the more you say, Lord, I surrender to you, He will become your closest friend. He'll become your God, your guide, and everything that you've ever needed. God looks for a surrendered life, a life that is fully committed to His purpose and His plan. As you begin your day this morning, ask the Lord to help you know His will for your life. Help you identify the purpose for which He has created you, and help you walk in His will and in His purpose.
I surrender.